Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Early R&B's latest video installment. Our featured guest today is Ronald Gathers, original bass vocalist of the Majors. Ron, thanks for taking some time to speak with us.
My pleasure.
Yeah, you welcomed us into your home,
Yes, sir.
and we want to get into everything about your career.
I'm born in Naples.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us, where were you born and raised?
I was born right here in North Philadelphia, PA,
Yeah.
and I grew up here. Yeah. But I moved around. I lived in New York too. Back and forth. My mother's family was in New York, and my father's family was in Philly. And at 4 years old, I was back and forth, until my teenage
Yeah.
age.
What was it like? Tell me what it was like at that time. You were born in the late 30s, I believe, right?
39.
39. You grew up in the 40s. What was that like? What was Philadelphia like in the 1940s?
It was the city of brotherly love. And everybody you could sleep with your front door open and sleep on your marble steps and everything, And neighbor to neighbor. Everybody would look out for each other's kids and whatnot. You had a great time, there was no violence.
Mm-hmm.
And if you did have a fight, it was one-on-one fisticuffs.
Yeah.
You beat him up one day, he beat you up the next. That's how we grew up,
Mm-hmm.
And it was all honor,
How many brothers and sisters did you have?
I had 2 brothers and 1 sister,
All right.
and I got only left now is me and my baby sister.
All right.
And my oldest brother and my youngest brother passed.
Did your parents take you to church?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we stayed in church.
Yeah.
Back then, I went to church morning, noon, and night, and we lived next door. The church was next door, and all I had to do was open my front door and turn and go into another door.
All
I've done church.
right. What was your first significant musical memory? Anything that stands out when you were a young kid?
Well, listening to really, it happened in Harlem. You got the A train. I caught the A train going to Brooklyn, and Willie Winfield and Harptones were singing on the train, and I heard them, and I went over there, and I listened to them, and I met them.
Oh wow, they were singing on the train, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, this is before they hit it. Is this before they hit it big?
No, this was when they were big.
Oh yeah.
Life is but a dream.
Oh wow.
And they were singing that, and that fat. And when after they finished that, that's what really inspired me. I said, well, I want to do that to myself.
Yeah.
And that's how I started.
And I think when you were about 14 or 15 years old, you get what you.
Oh, remember, my brother was there in the group.
Yeah.
Which he was the bass of the group, and I was a child. There's doo-wop on the doo-wop corner, 19th and Harlem Street, and I used to go there and try to sing, and they used to shoot me away because I had no voice. I go home crying, and I turn on the radio, and I start bassing with all the different groups, bass parts, and that's how I developed my bass voice.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he finally went into the Air Force, and they were looking for a bass, and I happened to, audition, and they took me in.
And that was the premieres, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And eventually, you guys have to drop the name, right? Tell us about that.
Because we found out that there was another group already out there with the name. Had recording.
Mm-hmm.
So we chose, I think it was the Versatile name.
Yeah. And who came up with that name, Ron?
Well, I think it was Gene Glass.
Gene Glass.
Yeah.
And you guys actually recorded.
Yeah, we recorded Lundy Dundee.
Yeah.
On the Rocal label. With a Scepter, radio Scepter Records. And it did pretty good.
Did pretty good?
Yeah.
Was it? Would you call it a regional hit, or what kind of success did you see with it?
Well, we toured a lot with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back
we
in
did a lot of college dates and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And describe that record to those that haven't heard it. I've heard it, but tell us about tell the general public about it who may not have heard that song.
Well, Lundy Dundee was like a novelty song.
Yeah.
And the guy Jerry Raggerboy, he came up with it.
Mhm.
And early, no, Luther Dixon, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Luther Dixon, he was with Scepter Records. In fact, he's one that did Chuck Jackson's I Don't Want to Cry
Yeah.
and other stuff. So he came up with that song, and we recorded it. Because we were one manager, and he traded us off to another guy, which was Bill Fox, and he hooked us up with Luther and Scepter Records, and we came out on a label, Rocal Records, out of Scepter. And then after that, they came up with, introduced us to Jerry Raggerboy, and he came up with Wonderful Dream,
Yeah.
and we came out on Scepter, on the original label, Scepter Records, and it became a hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take us back to the early days, though, on the corner. What was your? How often would you guys perform on the street?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah, we did a little bottle of white port lemon juice, or Thunderberry wine. Yeah, and we did a little juiced up and just sing.
Yeah.
For the love of singing.
Yeah.
We sing all the major other songs, the Moon Glow songs, the Drifters, you name the Hot Tunes, and Flamingos, everything. That was big. And we would sing all these songs.
And would you guys develop a crowd, or would you merely merely just get people passing by appreciating it?
Yeah, that and the crowd from the neighborhood, in the block.
Hmm.
You know, they would all come out and say with a song.
Yeah.
And then they would throw parties, you know, home parties, and invite us to sing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
We did a lot of those.
did you guys leave out a tip jar on the sidewalk or anything like that?
No.
No?
No, we just sang to be singing.
Yeah.
Because at the time, you know, we wasn't really thinking about business. You know, it was just sort of love of just hanging out on the corner singing, entertaining the neighborhood or the people that walking by.
Yeah.
And stop. You know, just the love of that. Just the love of singing.
No. You're known for your dancing.
Yeah.
Did you incorporate any dancing into the early street singing?
No, that came later on. That came later on. I think that just did that on my own.
Yeah.
Outside the group. And not until the majors
Yeah.
is when I implemented
Implement. Yeah.
yeah.
And where did you learn to dance? Who taught you? Who influenced
Just watching different people dancing. You know, maybe like Bojangles and like that Pearl Belly and you know all them
you? Yeah.
people.
Oh, your vocal career was interrupted by service in the Marines, correct?
Yeah, Frank of Troutt Senior, he was in the group, and he went into. We wasn't working with nothing for a little while, so he decided to go into the Marine Corps. So I said, well, I ain't doing nothing. Well, actually, I had a choice. You could go to reform school because I said I was in the time I was at the New York Vocational High School, and the principal said I did something short, and he called me to his office, and he had a ruler, and he hit me on my hand hard, and he had a pen set, a Creole pen set, and I took the pen set and stuck it in his hand to the desk. So they gave me a choice: either get your mother and father to sign for you, and you know, you go to service, or we're gonna put you in reform school. So at 17, they signed for me, and that's how I went into the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the time, we hooked up after Paris Island. They sent us to Wilmington, North Carolina, to Camp of June, and Frank Troutt was there. And so that we hooked up, and then we formed a group in there. Yeah, I don't remember the name we had.
Yeah.
But for the next about a year or so, we sang in special services, different bases and stuff.
Were you merely stateside, or did you ever get to go overseas?
Oh yeah, I went to Lebanon, Cuba, Panama, Puerto Rico, Okinawa. Yeah.
And coming from Philadelphia and seeing a whole other world, what was that like for you?
Man, fantastic! I mean, it was amazing. You know, Man, I liked it, Cuba, because they had all the pretty women, you know, and Panama. It was pretty good. Like Lebanon, they had that little skirmish when they sent us there. And the sand was hitting me in the face. They were bullets, really, like from bullets. But we had a lot of ammunition. We were able to fire back until there's no shoot back. But I think they didn't want international incident.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was great.
Was there anything that was the most challenging part of being a Marine? Was there one aspect of it that was challenging?
Well, yeah, the boot camp, Pass Island, and training, which was hard. I mean, they didn't play around. But if you smack with those fleas and hit that bitch, they make you dig like a 4-foot deep hole. Or get on your hands and knees first, a whole platoon, and look for the flea. And whatnot. So you have a little flea in, how you gonna see that? You know, but they make you do it anyway. When you dig the hole and then cover it back up and all that kind of stuff. And then they would make you, they would put 4 or 5 M1 rifles on your arms and make you run from one of the quarter to the next, or 2 big buckets of wet sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were rough. Yeah.
But it made you a better man, right?
Better man. Yeah. Yeah, because they say, you know, we're your mother and father now. Yeah. Because no babies here.
Yeah.
We make men out of. That's what the Marines are about.
Right.
And so that helped. Yeah. Discipline.
Discipline. Yeah. And when you got out, you the Versatiles kind of got back together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got back together and then.
Same members, right?
Same members. Well, no, like I said, that's when Idella Morris, the girl, joined, because they had a girl group, and they broke up. So, and we said we need one more voice, and she fitted in perfect. Yeah. And so then her, as we went, then that's how we got to record the Wonderful Dream, and her and Jean Glass got married, and we had 15 kids.
Oh my God,
yeah.
15 kids.
15. Yeah. Like every time we were ready to go on a booking, and when she would be too big to go, and just 4 of us went, you know. So we were able to, you know, cover a missing voice, because that's how good we were.
Oh wow. Speaking of marriage, I know that you never married.
Never married.
Yeah.
And the reason why, I was engaged 3 times, but every time each one of the women would say, "Who's that? What time you coming back? How long you gonna be?" You know, I mean, I ain't married yet, you know. You asked me, you want to hold me?
Yeah.
So I nixed it.
You nixed it, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you ever regret it that you didn't have a family like that, or no? With a few kids?
Really, yeah. Because really, going around on the show, after the show, and people invite us to their home, and I see the home life and whatnot. Sure, I miss because I've been living out of a suitcase, you know, and on a bus or a train, and I really missed it, especially around the holidays, Christmas, and all that kind of stuff, Thanksgiving, being able to sit down, you know, with the family.
And when you guys become the Majors, that's when you hit it with Wonderful Dream.
Yes.
And a couple other songs. Who was the writer behind those hits?
No, that was Jerry Wright, boy.
Okay, that was Jerry.
Yeah.
And what do you think was the special ingredient to his success with those songs?
Us, because we never sang that high.
Yeah.
You know, he had us go up so high, you know. Well, we were able to do it because Gene Glass, he had an ear for the notes, and he would tell each one of us, you know, even me, the bass, go down, go up, you know, like that. And that's how our harmony hit. That's why the record hit. But after that, he became famous. He got all the big groups saying that record.
She's a Troublemaker, and a little bit later.
Yeah.
Which of those 2 other hits do you like more? Is there one you prefer?
She's a Troublemaker because I come out in drag. I floated it up. I said, well, since I'm doing it, she's a Troublemaker. Let me put a dress and a wig on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the time the only one who was doing it was Flip Wilson,
Mhm.
comedian, and Geraldine, and I was the only other in the whole of show business that was dressing up in drag.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And nobody derided it. They all loved it, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was like I said, the crowd. As soon as I came on the stage, the big roar.
Yeah.
You know, laughed and all that because, you know, I come out and do my little dance and
Yeah.
you know, act like a lady. I have a pocketbook, you know, long wig, you know, dress, you know, loud dress and that. So
I saw you perform in New Bedford, Mass. a couple months ago, and it really was one of the highlights of the night.
thank you very much.
You know, that little comedic
Yeah.
aspect of it.
Yeah.
And your group, I would say, was known for better than average harmonies, would you say, right, Ron?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And how did you guys perfect those harmonies, or how often did you work?
That came from, again, that came from former member that's no longer with us, New Last,
Mhm.
his ear. And he put take the time to alter the sound of whatever we were singing, whoever was singing what part in the group. And like I said, then though Frankie, since me and Frank Senior, we originally two of the originals. His son was singing. This is my original singer lead now in the group of the major, Frank Troutt Jr. He was singing our song since he was 3 years old. Come to our rehearsal, and then him and Hatch and Joanne, the group now, they had a group together. So and they harmony, so they knew each other's voices. Me and Frank knew each other, and then we just blended the voices together.
Hmm.
And that's how we came out.
Yeah. And so after the majors, after your time with the majors is over, you join up with Tommy Hunt of the Flamingos.
Yes.
Tell us about what he first hired you to do and what you would evolve into. And
Okay. There was of course the famous Uptown Theater, like the Apollo in New York, the Uptown Theater on Broad Street here, and they were performing there at the Flamingos, and I think he had just broke up with them, and they had a club next door called the DPA Club, a nightclub, and I was in there, and I went up to him to introduce myself, because that was one of my favorite groups. And he said, "Hey, yeah, I'm gonna make your group, the Majors," and like that. I said, "What you doing now?" So now we broke up, and he said, "Can you drive?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, I need to drive, but I gotta go to New York tonight." I said, "But I don't have no license." He said, "Don't worry about it. As long as you can drive." And so I said, "Okay." So he had that big old long Lincoln with the tail on it, and the big wheel in the back, and the big white one. So I said, "Okay." So I went to New York with him, and that's how it started. And he had just, he had just got from Scepter, the same group, the label that we had recorded one for Dreamer. He had got a song called Human, and from them, from the same guy, Luther Dixon. And when we got there, he was, his kid and his woman had left, packed up and took everything out the apartment. We opened the door, we came into an empty apartment. So he said, "Wow," she cleaned it out. So we had a bottle of J&B Scotch, and weed, and we sat down, and then he started, because he had to rehearse the part of sing the song, learn the song, and I did the bass part, and a couple of the high notes behind it. And he said, "Wow," So we recorded it, and it hit off. So he said, "Well, I started out as a driver, like I said, the valet, and then when he got on stage, and when we did the mic off to the side and started singing, background for him." So that's how I started with him.
And what was Tommy like? Tell us. You're the link to other history besides your own history.
Yeah.
So tell us about Tommy. I know he was a ladies' man, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, good-looking guy. And liked to dress real fine and nice, long hair suits and like that. And all the ladies loved him. So, like I said, he wound up becoming this madam. Her name was Marie Letitia, a Sicilian woman. She was the biggest madam in New York city, and she had maybe about 100 or so girls, and she gave him she came to see one of the shows we were doing. I think we were at the Peppermint Lounge, Joey D and the Starlighters. He had a show, he had a club there, right? That the mob had opened up for him, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave him an envelope, and it was like $5,000, right? For her, because she wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
And so we accepted, and she lived up the beginning of the Upper East Side where the Kennedys were,
Oh, wow.
and he had a penthouse. They were all done in white and satin and silk and whatnot, and moved in there. So I lived with him for 3 years.
Hey, lived with Tommy for 3 years? Huh?
Yeah, up in there with her. And
Yeah.
him.
Cool.
Yeah.
You were
That's where I started. I got the blonde hair from.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You met a number of high-profile names in R&B and soul music during your time.
Yeah. The oldest friend, Sam Cooke,
Yeah.
Jackie Wilson, you name it. Curtis Mayfield, all the big ones. And I hung out with them. We became friends.
Yeah.
But mainly, the biggest thing we did, like I said, we did a show at the Apollo with,
Yeah.
with Sam Cooke headlining, and his birthday, the first week, the crowd was so big, and it was around the corner both ways on 125th Street, and the birthday came up the next week, and the group was supposed to chip in with me, get him some a bottle of Beefeater's gin, but she's right. And when it came time we were going to chip in, they had families, so they couldn't do it. So I bought the bottle by myself, and I went to his dressing room and said, "Happy birthday," and gave him the bottle. He said, "Man, come on in," and from that day on, I hung with him all that week, and every night after the show, he would bring me in a limo, and we would go to a different club all over New York. And it was fantastic.
Yeah.
His personality was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And was there one club he took you to that was better than all the rest that you remember, or no?
No, I don't remember. All of them were good.
Yeah.
I was on Cloud 9.
Cloud 9, yeah. Yeah. And
I'm with Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Hanging with him. Yeah.
right. He was already an idol of yours, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
He was like I said, and his personality was unbelievable, man. He was so nice.
Quiet but nice, or
I mean, so nice. It was unbelievable. I never met nobody that nice. Like I said, all these at the Apollo, all these old women, grandmothers, and everything, they would come and bring all this food, and his door was open to everybody, anybody.
Oh, he allowed random people to come in?
Anybody.
Yeah.
And he had cases of liquor and wine all the way up to the ceiling. And anybody can drink and eat all they want.